You know, us 928 fans really should be getting behind Thierry Nardone big time. He is, after all, the only person on the planet currently trying to give the Porsche 928 a future, some kind of a future that otherwise ended in 1995. So I'm here in Miami to go and talk to him to see whether he's changing the 928 in a good way. Hopefully he's retaining all the things that make the 928 great. Its V8 engine, its wild looks, its comfort for a GT car, but also its sportiness. And also, I'm here to see if this is actually an engineering project or is just a body kit or something like that.
So what makes a good Restomod? Well, in theory at least, it's a fairly simple recipe. You have to modernise, but not ruin what made the original great. Superior quality parts must be used, of course, including redesigning and re-engineering them so that they're no longer 1980s quality and feel, in order to give your customer a superior experience than the original and bring it up to date, and all executed by designers and engineers with experience. So let's go and meet Thierry and his Restomod and see how they measure up.
Welcome to sunny Miami, everybody. And look, here is the Nardone 928 with Thierry Nardone.
Hi everyone.
Hi Thierry.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Oh my God, what a car. I can't believe I'm standing in front of it. What am I looking at here?
This is what I call the show car. So in this car you won't see any engineering. So that's why you never see the engine, that's why you never see it driving very fast, etc. It's just a demonstration. It's the first step, let's say, before the production car. The goal was to try to test the market with this car.
And how's that going?
It's going very well.
Good, good.
So
You've got
now,
some strong interest, have you?
Yeah.
Good.
I sold many of them already, so we have to deliver customers. So we have to do our production prototype. We are actually working on it since 1 year already.
Wow.
And it will be ready by March or April.
Yeah.
So you
for
will
those,
finally see the engine and everything.
that would be
Yeah.
terrific. For those people who don't know anything about your company or anything about this car, what are you trying to achieve?
So my idea was to show my vision of the Restomod. I'm passionate by this movement that is growing every year. So far, a lot of 911, as you know, on the market of the Restomod, and I'm passionate by transaxle car more than 911s. So it was natural for me to do something with this car.
You must have employed a whole team of designers to make something as beautiful as this.
Yeah, so I started, I was looking, of course, at the Restomod movement everywhere. And I saw this Lancia Delta Futurista. I love the design and what they have done. So I contacted the designer immediately on Instagram. So it's an Instagram story. Huh? I started the world business on Instagram.
How modern.
Yeah. And I had a very good contact with Carlo Borromeo, one of the partner of the Borromeo da Silva studio. Yeah. And we started to speak as two passionate guys. Yeah. By the time I contacted him, they just launched the Lancia Delta, which was a huge success. And Carlo told me that there is, of course, a market for this kind of car. It was more a personal project, to be honest, at the beginning. And I asked him, okay, I would like to modify the rear light of my car. Can you help? He said, yes, of course, but you have to know that it's the most expensive parts on the Restomod. So to give you an idea, the rear light, to create a prototype, homologate, etc., it's 80,000 euro. Okay. So I said, okay, maybe I switch to a professional project. Yeah. And this is how it started. Yeah. So we started with the designers and then very quickly with the engineers, because this car, we made the show car with all the company in parallel, because we have to be sure that the design can be feasible. So
that was going to be my next question, actually, is when the production cars are ready, will they be the same as this?
It will be 90% of this. Yeah. The 10% will be better. Yeah. So I can show you, for example, what we're going to improve. This will be functional. Okay. I didn't want anything on the design that won't be that wouldn't be functional.
Yes.
So this will be the air intake,
Yeah.
as well as this. Here you will have the flashlight, you know, because pop-up
Yes.
are not fast enough to
Yes.
to flash. So, and this can't be the flashlight. It's not big enough.
Okay.
So we had to put a flashlight here. So the intake will be a bit shorter, maybe. And the big improvement. So I've never communicated about this. So you are the first.
Exclusive.
This, of course, this will be round.
Yeah.
And the trunk. The trunk was my biggest concern. So I drove the engineers crazy about this because I didn't want to open the trunk anymore. As you know, this car, if you put bigger wheels, stiffer suspension, etc., you start to hear some torsion on the car, especially because the trunk is very big and the pillars are very small. So we decided to remove the original trunk, and it will be only the window that will open.
Ah, okay.
So you will have a cork in carbon from here to the windshield bay.
Yeah.
It will be one piece.
One piece of carbon.
So you won't have this gap anymore here. And this part will come here. So the gap will be between this part and this part, let's say. We have to create a huge jig where every car will go. We will remove absolutely everything, create this panel in metal to keep the structure of the car, and add the carbon fiber on top of it. So you will still have the gap, of course, to keep the line, but this will act like almost like a roll cage.
Yeah.
So it will be it will add some strength to the chassis. Look.
Wow. This is a lot of investment here.
So you can see that we remove almost the entire pillar here, and we add reinforcement in metal inside, and then we put the carbon fiber fender, carbon fiber roof with trunk, and so just because of my choice to remove this gap,
Caused a lot of...
But the good point of this is that it will be easier to assemble every car, because thanks to this huge jig, we will be able to assemble all the panel exactly at the same position for every car. Well, look, this is what we did for the suspension, for example. So we study absolutely everything. I mean, we don't just CNC machine a new hub. We have to make sure that the car won't stay on the side of the road, you know, or won't kill anyone.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So we study all the forces, and this is the new rear hub. So
I mean, I can see it's wider. I mean, it's quite a lot wider.
But if you compare to a 928 GTS, it's only 3 centimeters at the back.
Only 3 centimeters wider than a GTS?
On each side, compared to a GTS. So it's not that much.
Yeah.
It's 1.95 m
wide.
So it's 6 centimeters more.
Yeah.
The front is way bigger than the original. As you know, the front fender on the GTS or every 928, they are the same. So we decided to enlarge a little bit to give more volume. So same as we enlarge quite a lot the front.
Yes, it's a lot wider, isn't it?
Yeah, we decided to modify all the front axles, so new hub, bigger bearings, a caliper that match perfectly with the hub. This is my obsession, you know. Here you can see that.
Wow.
We keep only the lower arm, but we work with companies that will recreate a new bushing, etc. I don't want to go, you know, with a, how do you say this, like race car when you have no bushing.
Yeah.
I don't want to go this way because it's a Grand Tourer again, so I want to keep
Comfort is important.
I don't want to have any noise on the front. So we create this new part here. One interesting point also is the steering rack. So steering is maybe the most important thing for driving experience. Yeah. On this car, you know, it's quite long, so it filters a lot the road, and you don't have that much feedback on the steering wheel. So we recreate a new steering rack inside the original one. So same process as the gearbox, the engine, and the steering rack is the same. We keep the original one, and we try to make a ratio close to the 993 ratio, which is supposed to consider it to be the best steering rack of 911 air-cooled.
And it's all carbon fiber.
This one is fiberglass, but it will be, of course,
the production, yeah.
The only panel that we keep is the door because it's aluminium and it's iconic.
Yeah. So the door is original?
It's original,
okay.
100%. But then here you can see that we change also the curve of this window.
Okay.
Here.
Oh yes, yes. That just straightens it out a bit.
Yeah. Also, it removed the little bump that you have here usually.
Oh yes, yes.
And this was. I mean, of course, it's part of the design of the original one, but since we went so far in terms of modification, we wanted to make it more modern.
Streamlined.
Yeah. But then this pillar won't be original, the windshield bay won't be original, the position of the windshield won't be the same. It will come more flush, you know. And the big change, in my opinion, is not that we widen, is that we shorten the front. And we put 4 centimeters that we remove here at the back.
Okay.
Yeah, because here you can see it. The lights are exactly at the same position as the original. So
it's not flush anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And the trunk usually, this line come here.
Yeah.
So we modify the end of the trunk, and we add this few centimeters that we remove at the front. So now the balance, the proportion are more on the back, but on the real car we recreate totally the front and rear axle. Okay. So new hubs, bigger bearing, everything is new. My designers found some archive of a lamp designed by Ferdinand Porsche back in the days when he was industrial designer.
Oh.
And they took this as an inspiration, so they decided to make it like a lamp. And you can find this line here, also here. So as you can see, these cars travel a lot, but you have the same line here and at the back of the diffuser.
Yeah, the same style is carried on through.
Exactly.
Yeah. The wheels as well, right? You struggled with the wheels, and because you were talking to me earlier on about maybe using some of the original wheels, but that just didn't work out, did it?
We tried many wheels on CAD from different manufacturers, Porsche included, BBS, etc., and nothing matched on the car, absolutely nothing. So we decided to reimagine the original manhole. We all are, I mean, me and the designers, big fan of turbofan era, you know. So we kept this shape here, which is very similar to the manhole, and we made this concave effect at the back also, and the result is quite good.
They work really well.
Tons of requests from 911 owners, modern 911s, 928 guys. Who wants to buy the wheels? Not for now, but probably.
Those 911 owners, don't give them any of those.
So you can see the back, the lighting signature.
Oh wow! Look at that. How cool is that? Wow.
A company that work on this car, so let's say the company that centralize all the projects, because there are many companies. There is the engineers for the engine, which is Italtecnica. It's a company that has been created 35 years ago.
Yeah.
So they used to work with Maserati, Ferrari, Lamborghini. The company Podium Advanced Technology, they created, for example, the Glickenhaus of Le Mans.
Yeah.
So it's a true big engineering company.
They're the people that are manufacturing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a team of 8 to 10 persons dedicated to this car since 1 year in north of Torino, in Ponce Martin.
That's not cheap.
Yeah, that's not cheap. And then I have another company that work on the gearbox. So the gearbox is interesting also because there is 120 something parts in this gearbox. We recreate 121, so almost the entire gearbox with 3D printed technology, with a lot of new materials, etc. And we develop a 6-speed. So I found the right person to do it. So it's the 6-speed inside the original housing without modifying the end of the gearbox also.
6-speed, wow,
yeah.
Okay.
But between the first and the 6, everything is custom made according to the diameter of the wheels, the expectation of the engine. So there is.
So are you creating a car that, because one of the beauties of the original 928 was that it's fast, right?
Yeah.
It was fast back in its
It's very
day.
fast original.
Yeah, for an original car, it's
Yeah.
very fast. But it also had like a GT kind of credentials.
Yeah.
Do you think that will be the same with this?
Yeah, I want to keep the GT side
Yeah.
of the car, so I would like to have comfort. So we will keep a lot of travel for the suspension.
Yeah.
This is a point I said I don't want to race against the 911 as everyone tend to do with a 928 to prove that these cars are better, etc.
We don't need to. We
No,
know the 928 is
no.
better already.
I wouldn't say. But yeah, the idea is to improve all the driving experience.
And you know what I'm really pleased about? It's that you did not go electric.
No, I had requests for this. I had requests.
Maybe you will in the future, and I understand there is a
I'm not
need.
sure.
I don't know, but maybe there's a need for that, and I get that in the market,
Yeah.
right? But I'm glad that one of the things that makes the 928 truly great is a V8 engine, and you're going to carry on with that.
And also that's my vision of the Restomod. You have to keep the maximum of the legacy of Porsche. So to me, if you put, I have some people, you should put a Cayenne engine. Yes, but to me it's not anymore a Restomod, it's a swap.
Yeah.
Same for the gearbox. There is a solution, as you know, to put a Corvette gearbox that works perfectly.
Yeah.
But we prefer to keep the housing of the original gearbox, same as the engine.
Yeah.
So the balance, the weight, etc. is exactly the same. And,
so tell me about the engine. I mean,
so the engine, it's exactly the same process as the gearbox. We keep the short block, the casting of aluminum. We keep the head, and that's it almost.
So it is an original 928 engine.
Yes, just we start
given
with
modern
the V8
treatment.
5 liter of the 928 S4, so 32 valve. And we redesign absolutely everything from scratch inside. So you won't find one part that comes from the market. It will be 100% custom made. There is like not far from 300 parts created for the engine.
So talk to me about power to weight. The power, I think I heard about 400 horsepower, is that right?
So when I launched the car last year in Milan, I wanted to be sure to speak about the power. So I wanted to start with a 5 liter because there will be an option in the future for a bigger engine. But I wanted to keep the 5 liter. Of course, I can do 5.5, 5.6, you know, as well as me. Yeah. But the idea was to start with this engine and to make to put out the maximum horsepower we can, without sacrificing the drivability, you know. So I want this car to be easy to drive, reliable. So we modified everything. Like the timing belt on the car will be something around 20 centimeters shorter.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. We modified completely this.
Yeah. And what about the weight then? I mean, all this carbon fiber must really help.
Yeah. So that wasn't a request from me to save a lot of weight because it's a Grand Tourer. Of course, if we can save 100 kilos, it will be good. Maybe we will be a bit more. But it wasn't a request for me because, as you know, it's a Grand Tourer, so I don't see the point to go 1 ton for this.
No.
If you remove too much weight, you sacrifice something at some point, like comfort, sound deadening, stuff like this. So.
Just quality, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, let's have a look inside, shall we, and talk about the inside.
Of course.
Wow. You know, I'm a 928 owner, as you know, and my first impression is that this still feels very familiar.
Yeah.
But it's updated, and just the sharp edges are just rounded. Yeah. And it's just made more streamlined and fresh.
Absolutely what we try to do.
So will there be, at launch, will there be lots of options for people to choose from? How will that work?
Yeah, so the 8 first, which I call launch edition, they will
That's the first 8 cars?
Yeah,
okay.
They will come at a reduced price of 480,000
€480,000, okay.
With full options, so they will have the engine I mentioned, they will have the 6-speed gearbox, but then everything will become an option. As you know, in Restomod, everything is an option.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put also a big sound system because I like to listen very good music, high quality music.
Of course. Yeah.
So the system we are working on probably won't be the PCCM because this one is quite restrictive.
Okay.
So
Okay, so you're looking for
if you want to stream a very high quality music, this one will cut a little bit the quality. Yeah. So we found another one.
So will people be able to choose things like Pasha and that kind of thing?
Pasha is a good question.
Surely this is not the first question you've heard this question before,
no,
I'm sure.
not really.
Oh, really?
Not that much.
Yeah.
But Pasha is something I have in mind since the very beginning. Actually, I wanted to launch this car with the Pasha Reimagine because, as you know, there are only four patents of the Pasha.
Yes,
I think,
indeed.
four color.
Yeah.
And it looks quite old. I love it, but we couldn't find anything that matched with the color we wanted. So
and the quality as well.
And the quality.
Yeah.
So I started to work with different companies to try to reimagine the Pasha in leather. It's not that easy because leather is quite thick, so you have to work a lot to make it less thick.
Yeah.
And now I work with Alcantara, so I think
the company themselves. Okay. In
they
Italy.
like a project like this, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm working with them, and I should have the result very soon.
That's
so
cool.
Hopefully the prototype production will come with
Pasha.
Reimagined Pasha.
A lot of things Porsche got right, and there's no need to fix what is not broken. You know?
Exactly. That's why in the interior, in the end, we just try to change the material, the plastic, for aluminium and carbon fiber if the customer wants.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's quite original. We just modify the shape of the seats.
Yeah.
So the form is CNC machine. It's a new design.
Okay.
Because this kind of seats, the original one, are a nightmare for every upholsterer, as you probably know.
I'm going to find out. Yes.
So it's very difficult to redo a good one.
Yeah.
Also, we tried to, what we loved with my designers is this shape.
Yes,
here.
yes.
And with the big cluster, you don't see anymore this shape on the left.
On the left-hand side.
Yeah,
so I see that movable cluster is streamlined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you close the door, you have this very nice view, very minimalist, and you can focus on the drive.
So if people want their own colours or they want to choose lots of different colours, you'll have that available?
Can choose absolutely everything.
Yeah, okay.
This is the principle of that type of car.
Yeah.
At the price they pay, of course, they can choose what they want.
Yeah.
And absolutely everything. I have already some requests for a specific car.
Yeah?
Yeah, it will be, the owner wants to have, as a donor, a real GTS manual. But of course, we will do the same treatment. But you want a specific engine, so we will try to develop flat plane crankshaft.
Whoa, he really wants to go there. Okay,
yeah.
How many do you think you're going to make? And what do they cost as well? What is a regular? You mentioned that the
price,
launch cars are 450,000.
And then the equivalent will be more close to 600. It's such a huge investment.
Of course.
When you develop a car like this, we're working with all these engineers who usually work in Formula One or Le Mans cars and stuff like this. So it's impossible to do this as a garage build.
Yeah.
Of course. You can be good at something, but you can't be good at everything. So that's why.
No, you're making a car that is of an exceptional quality and is going to be very rare. So I think people understand that. So how many do you think you'll make per year?
So with Podium, we already know because they built the 20 Lancia Delta Futurista.
Oh, yeah.
It was a limited series.
Yeah.
They managed to build 10 per year.
Okay.
But they can ramp up a little bit the production. And for this car, it will be probably, we will start next year after the launch of this car. After the launch, we have to shake down the car, to test it in cold, hot temperature, etc. To drive it almost like we steal it,
Yeah, exactly.
And after that, once everything is validated, we start with the first customer. And we will probably produce 4 next year.
Okay.
But after that, we will try to ramp up 10, maybe 12. And
so these are pretty exclusive cars.
Yeah. I don't want to go over this because then it
should be rare. Yeah. Well, thank you, Thierry.
Yeah,
I really appreciate the time and
later
showing around.
Other content that
yes, you like. We'll have another look round. But I just wanted to say thank you for showing me around the car. Really appreciate
Pleasure to meet you.
As we look back to the start of the video where we discussed what makes a good Restomod, I'd say Thierry has all the ingredients, wouldn't you? experienced designers that are locked at the hip with experienced engineers, and he's also maintaining the best parts of the 928. That last bit is hard, for as you might be able to rely on a designer or an engineer to do their own job well, it takes an owner to keep the soul of the car intact, and that's why Thierry's own role here is so important for success. He's a passionate man who is generous with his time and thoughtful and driven with his car. There is, however, one element of this project we haven't been able to test just yet, and that's how it drives. Perhaps we will in the future, but absent that, my God, it looks good. Thank you for watching.